Okay, excellent. So last week, you remember we talked about how when the children of Israel got to the promised land, God told them, go in and take it. And they said, no, thank you. We're pretty sure that there are giants there, and we're going to lose. They'll beat us and kill us, so we don't believe that you'll deliver us and help us conquer the country, so we're not going to go in. And God said, because, again, you didn't believe me, you don't get to go into the promised land. You'll wander for 40 years until all of you who doubted have died, and your children will go into the promised land. Right? You remember this. We've had problems all the way since they left Egypt. They've been doubting and they've been complaining. So what happens next is there's a rebellion. There are three priests, three people from the tribe of Levi who say, we don't think that Aaron and Moses and their family should be in charge. We're Levites. We have just as much right to be the leaders of the Israelites. The only reason we have to believe that you're in charge is that you tell us God's put you in charge. So God says to Moses, okay then, we'll do a test. You stand outside of the tent, the tabernacle, the movable temple we built, and you tell them to stand outside of their tents, and we'll see who God chooses. And then the earth opens up and swallows those three men and those who followed them. And the children of Israel said, okay, so apparently Moses and Aaron are the ones that God chose. I don't want to emphasize that, though, because after that, to make it very clear, not just in the negative sense that the ones who rebelled got swallowed up by the earth, which you'd think would be clear enough, God gave a positive sign. He said to Moses, tell the leaders of each of the tribes to bring their staff, because they're in the desert, they're wandering, so every man has a walking staff, right? So he says, tell the leaders of the 12 tribes their staffs to the tabernacle, to the tent of worship, and you're going to take all of them and you'll place them there and we'll wait overnight. And God says, I will make one of the staffs dead wood, cut off and aged. I will make one of them bud. It will spring out with sapling, with leaves and flowers like it's alive. I will make it alive again. And whoever's staff it is, that is the one who will be the priest. So they put them in, and sure enough, the next morning it is Aaron's staff, who was already the priest, Aaron, the brother of Moses. His staff has budded. This is the miracle that God gives, not just the earthquake and the ground swallowing up the rebels, but in a positive sense. God says, this man, Aaron, is the one I have picked to be the high priest, to do the sacrifices, no one else. So stop the arguments. So, why is this important? Or why is this relevant, apart from a strange little story about a small group of people wandering in the desert who had miracles as they argued with God for 40 years, right? Why do we care? Well, we are Christians, right? And we believe that the Virgin Mary gave birth to a son, Jesus Christ. She didn't have a husband. She was a virgin, but she gave birth. So the fathers of the church have always looked at this rod of Aaron and said, this is a type, a prophecy, a prefigurement, a shaping in beforehand to show what's going to happen of how the Messiah will come. Not in the normal, natural way, because if a piece of wood is connected to a tree and roots, we expect it to bud and to put out leaves and flowers. That's normal. But if it's cut off and aged and without life, then we don't expect it. So that's abnormal, that's weird, that's different. So the fathers say, this is a prefigurement of Christmas. It's life and new life, where in the natural order, there shouldn't be life, right? A woman who was a virgin generally, which is to say never, gives birth to a child. That doesn't happen. That's abnormal, that's unnatural, that's a miracle. So this miracle for Aaron is a sign of the birth of the Lord. And since it's October and Christmas is starting to come, even though they don't quite have decorations up in the stores yet, I hope, we can start to anticipate this as well and understand that the children of Israel, even as they're wandering in the desert, they also were being given promises that the Messiah would come, that Christ would be born, that life would spring out of what looked like no possibility for life. So, that's what happened. Next time we continue, we see what happens to the children of Israel as they wander, and hopefully before long we actually bring them into the promised land. But for now, let's go ahead and conclude the sermon and stand up and take communion. I want to make a note. Everyone who is in Goya, that's everyone 12 years old and up, please don't go straight to Sunday school. Stay here. We're going to swear in the new officers after communion, and then you can go to your classes. So everyone 12 years old and up, stay here after communion. Just come back to these pews. For now, please go to the back, come forward for communion. Everyone else, please follow the instructions.